Yo, 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 what is going on, IK Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are going to be touching on two things, which is going to be the kind of return of the Alliance Recruitment tab, talk about a few things there, some things to point out, how you might be able to take advantage of it when it comes to recruiting, and then also the Triss event, which is the Blessings of Triss event, technically, but we'll just say Triss event for short. Before we get started, as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you sub, like, ring the notification bell, and of course, if you want to join and be a part of our conversation, hit the Discord up in the description / pin comment down below. Okay, so let's start off first and foremost with the Alliance Recruitment tab. So you can get to this by going into your city, or I guess just outside of it as well, but you have to be able to be zoomed in so you can see the icons here in the top right. Click on the calendar page, and then we're going to scroll all the way down to Alliance Recruitment. So we'll get here, we'll click enter, it's going to load and pull up a new page for us, and as we mentioned before, right, this is kind of the updated list where you can see more or less the strongest alliances. Now, I want to say from what I initially calculated on is that you can only see the ones that promote in here. So if they haven't promoted in here, then they may not be listed. When I was going through a couple kingdoms, I noticed that when I went through this along with my scout account, that for whatever reason, some alliances that might have been ranked 3, 4, 5 were not listed here as they were when I double checked on the scout account to show what the actual alliances were. So my soft hypothesis, I should say, is that if they don't actually go here to do the quick recruit, or, oh gosh, where is it? I have to remember now. I think you have to be, I think it's the leader or the officer that you have to be in order to promote. Because there's featured, there's new, but quick recruit should be the button we press to recruit for the current alliance that we're in. That is so weird. Well, I'm pretty sure that's the case, if I remember from the patch notes. But someone can correct me in the event if that is wrong. Just let me know in the comments below. However, the main point here is that you're able to take a look at the kingdoms, and you can get, or I should say, yes, the kingdoms, but the kingdoms alliances. And you're able to get some information here from their declaration board, along with looking at kind of who rounds out, for the most part, the top alliances that are in the game. And you can also kind of keep up to date with them as well. You can check on specific servers if you want. Right, you can see 167 is currently released. But I always thought this is interesting how you have a few extra servers here. And I always wonder if these are the test servers or maybe it's the Pioneer servers or something else that they have set up. Then you could look between the 3 different kingdom types. You can also filter based on language, right? You can see English unknown, right? They have a few here. I'm not sure why. I don't know on the unknown one, really, but okay. So again, it's just cool to kind of see. With that being said, let us now move into the Blessings of the Triss event. So Blessings of Triss for me is, I did talk about this before, but I wanted just to make an update video on it to also hit on Alliance Recruitment. Because for Blessings of Triss, I am a little disappointed here because one, and probably first and foremost, the event is a pure spender event. You have no way to participate in this unless you spend money. Now, what I will say is out of a few of the other kingdom builders I've played, I cannot recall exactly if any of those games have an event in them that was a pure spender event. I can tell you for the 2 games that I played for a few years, I never saw a pure spender only event that was released, and again, specifically during the time I was playing. So, again, I look at this now and I think to myself, well, they don't have any other pure spending events that are in the game, along with nothing that they've ever hinted at going in this direction. So with that in mind, it is something that is a little bit hard to swallow on the pill. Because even if you click on Make a Wish, right, it says I have insufficient. I already used my free. You do get the daily free wish. But if I click on this, you can see it immediately takes me to goddess gifts I have to spend to get 5, 10 coins, right? And these to me just seem, again, even at face value, they seem just to be high numbers. Sure, you get a lot of other things that go with it. The VIP, the gems is great. Man, they're coming back hard. I got almost 8 hours of sleep last too. Woo! So even though you get a lot of the other inclusions, to me, the amount of divine coins does seem a little bit low overall. And especially if you're offering make 1 wish, make 5 wish. To me, they let you refresh the rewards for green gems, but again, this is how I view it. I view it similarly to how I view Lucky Spin, which is that you at least have the opportunity to spend your green gems in this event where you're able to get something out of it if you're looking to fish for any of the immortals or specific material from this. Why would they not allow us to do the same thing in Blessings of Triss? The challenge is that the public perception would view this event as, in short, a money grab, right? You look at the event and the only way you can participate in it is if you spend. Every other event is either free-to-play or costs green gems, which arguably is still within free-to-play, but we can infer that because the majority, if not all other events, are able to be participated in on a pure free-to-play basis or by using the premium green gem currency, and we look at Blessings of Triss, and unfortunately it is not, when you look at how the average player would view that, even how I view that, is that, one, it is unfortunate. 2, there's no precedent that has been set that this type of an event or limited event would ever come out in how we can contribute or participate, better yet, in it. So when I look at something like this, it's rough because then I also factor in the dev meeting we had. And in that meeting, we literally had a big conversation. I don't know how long it went on, but there was a healthy portion of that meeting where people mentioned the Triss event. And even if it was only a few people, right, they went in detail enough, let me say that, with giving feedback on the event, the cost of it, and it just seems as though it is a lot. And the challenge here is that when you look at what these will give you, right? Just look at it from a standpoint of, oh gosh, how do I find these now? Okay. So, I have to go to the shop. So let's go to shop. So if I want to get any of these, right, which you can see here, I need ability stones to unlock. What this means is that these Tower of Knowledge skills are only unlockable if you spend. You cannot get these if you don't. Personally, I am far and above removed from that morality and definitely against that, just because I do not believe at all that there should be anything in a game that is purely paywall gated where you have to absolutely spend in order to get it. Now, if you're doing it for a time period, but then you eventually release or allow for these items to be gathered, that's different, right? And I'll go as far as saying, whether or not you want to extend it to talk skills, okay, maybe. When you look at immortals and characters that you're using in the game, this is something where they have the Triumph of Fate event, right, that comes out. Obviously, they need to add more immortals to that, of course, so that way you are able to unlock every event every immortal as a free-to-play. But they also need to make it where you're able to do the same thing for Tower of Knowledge skills. At minimum, that does not mean that's the most ideal. The most ideal is, okay, you make it so the skills cost green gems to unlock instead of soul crystals. That's a compromise. People would still have to spend money to get green gems for them instead of using soul crystals. You still allow for it to be a little bit more gated because it now uses premium currency. However, you don't limit people by telling them they can't get it. Now, don't get me wrong, even I think that's a reach to ask for people to spend green gems on them. But at least if you did that, it wouldn't be looked at as widely in an unfavorable way where the event is a pure spending event. So these are my thoughts and my opinions on how I would do this type of an event or add something in or basically rework. I just think it's a very hard pill to swallow, and it almost feels like a really big slap in the face based on the conversations that we've had with the dev team, along with when you think about what they could have done in preparation of this. They could have done one of two things. They could have came out and said, look, we have this event coming out. It's going to be, a limited time event or something, or, hey, we're going to end up adding more, but, the cost will be going down and down and down for consecutive, something like that. Or, hey, we're going to do it this way, but then we're going to switch it up and allow for everyone to be able to access it by eventually going to green gems, maybe eventually going to soul crystals. Hey, maybe we'll come out with another event where it's more free-to-play friendly that will allow for you to get some of these, or at least at minimum unlock, right? So then that way you would spend green gems on that. This is very similar to how you look at someone like Empress Wu, right? Where you can do the unlock, but then you can spend green gems or soul crystals on her to unlock, right? Once you get her from the shop and contentional relics. So there are ways they could have, I think, gone about this, not even think, but definitely could have gone about this in a better way, a more professional way, when you look at the event in and of itself, and that there was no update, like no information on the event until we finally got in and saw what we could and could not do. All right, that is pretty much it for me. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. Please let me know what your thoughts are on the event. I have somewhat of a solid idea that it's probably going to be a pretty resounding, leaning in one direction, but I would love to know. So let me pose two questions here. One, what do you actually think about the event? Do you share my same opinion? Do you have a differing opinion? And then two, what do you think are some things they could do differently, change, or edit, add in later, etc., to make the event more worthwhile? And then you also have to consider as well, what about the other artifacts outside of the special artifacts? What do you do with those? I mean, that's potentially a whole other conversation. But for those that maybe want to chime in there, I'd love to know what you think. The last note I'm going to say here is, and I have heard this as well, right? If you have a special artifact, but you have you have special tower knowledge skills, but then you have other tower knowledge skills, do the special ones take precedence? Will they eventually come out with all special, and then the regular ones become obsolete? That's a potential thing to think about as well. So let me know anything and everything you guys are thinking in the comments down below. That is it for me. Until next time, I'll catch you later.